Guys, please subscribe and help the channel get to 150k subscribers. Yay!
The navigator himself, we are facing yet another exciting Netbank Cup, and obviously you are known for creating goals and scoring goals.
Yeah.
And I just want to know your, your thoughts about the goals as far as the Netbank Cup is concerned so far.
I think maybe the last time we actually had like a Nedbank that has so many goals, I think it was when Sundowns played Power Lines.
Yeah.
I think we had too many goals in one game, but also that propelled the tournament to have too many goals.
Yeah.
But one thing I like about this tournament is there's always goals being scored, because you have to win to go to the next round.
Yeah.
And even in the PSL itself, there's less games with 0-0, so teams are scoring goals. So we just hope that this season, especially in the tournament, now that there is a competition, people actually can win from scoring and saving goals. So we just hope that there's going to be more goals that we see, because at the end of the day, fans are going to be entertained and also want to see goals.
Yes.
Yeah.
According to you, looking at how we started the season, whom do you think, as far as creating goals and scoring goals, would be that one particular player that only would not score many goals but would be exciting to watch in terms of scoring goals?
There's certain players that you don't have to be the staunch support of the team for you to like them, right? And I think really is on top of his game. I think maybe by end of this month we'll be in conversation of Football of the Year. Yeah. But I strongly believe, personally, I strongly believe that Tito Masongani could do better in terms of creating.
Yeah.
Especially in the position that he plays. But also you have Ribeiro on the other side that creates also a lot of goals.
Yeah.
You also have Shabalala on the Chiefs side also that creates goals. But I think the number 10 position is dying. So for those that are still playing in that position, I think they could create more. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very exciting because you mentioned something about the Footballer of the Year debate, if I may say, because I think there's no better person who is to talk about the Footballer of the Year. You are the first Footballer of the Year in this country. If you have forgotten about it, just to remind you, I remember you going straight to the Willow Collector, that award of being the first Footballer of the Year. We didn't know what it meant, then. Yeah. But you talking about it and talking about Lebuhile Mufukeng, it brings about, an element of something to think about. Because he can also create goals and score goals just like you did. But from a striker's point of view, do you have any particular striker that you can say this one is a finisher? Because after getting or creating those goals, we need that one, that striker, that Mahopa kind of, that Mabasa, that Chalulile.
Yeah. Football has got its ups and downs, right? And as a footballer, you have to embrace those moments where when things are not going well, you need to take it, because you're going to get criticized. It's how then you bounce back that we can always remember you as one of the greats. Yeah. And I strongly believe that as Mabasa also is going through that for Orlando Pirates. And I think on the other side, Shalule also is going through the same thing, right? Yeah. But Reynes now became like a good finisher for Mamelodi Sundowns, and Mahopa strikers are national team. Let's not forget. Yeah. So we want to see the top strikers doing well, based on the fact that there's a big tournament that is coming for the national team. We want to do well. Yeah. But the things like even fans themselves, they want to see great players performing better, because then the conversations are and I think now in terms of the strikers, we want to see the best strikers that are regarded in South Africa to score those goals. And now that we're back into celebrating, we're winning, people are enjoying, so we want to see more goals this season.
Yeah, and when we're talking about that, it brings to my remembrance to say you really wanted to score in a derby. I remember we all wanted you to score in a derby, but that guy, man, need to just derby in a goal. But one other thing that really denied you, I remember, Palo. No Shapile Palo angata go pula shapana le palo.
Yeah,
but then
but here's a story that we hardly shared. We had a bet against each other. Itusalara will never score him. Yeah. And it's a bet Rocky I'll score. Yeah. Right. At some point I'll score him. And Largabaja, he will always remind me, you've never scored me. So that was like a competition that was happening inside. But the only time I actually scored him was playing for Sundowns, and it wasn't like an intentional goal. But it just that was a rivalry that was there, and I think that's how derby's supposed to be.
Yeah.
You know, you need to have players that still you play with them in the national team, but you don't want to lose against them.
Yes.
You know, and yeah, it was a problem, but but I enjoyed playing in the derby. Yeah.
Yeah. Talking about it, obviously it'll go down memory lane as one of the best goalkeepers ever to come out of this country. So for you now, looking at the likes of Ronald Williams, the likes of Chipezes and many other goalkeepers, your Sipo Chaine, whom do you think is likely to make many saves? Obviously, saves sometimes is not about how good you are as a goalkeeper, but it's on how much you are being attacked.
Yeah.
Because you can find that Chipezes is not really because of a team that he plays for. They play low block. Obviously, they allow him to make many saves. It doesn't mean that the other goalkeepers are not as good, but whom do you think will have, you know, that chance of making many saves?
You know, the irony of this is it's always the teams that are weak defensively that goalkeepers are making so many saves. Yeah. Because then good teams are reorganized. You hardly even touch the goalkeeper. That's why you have better teams or good teams that always have so many clean sheets because defensively they're solid. Yeah. So I'm expecting the new teams that are coming into the Netbank Cup to have a goalkeeper that's going to stand out because always they save is 16,000 because they've been attacked so much. Yeah. It's the case of Magezi as well, where Chipezeze became the guy because the defense wasn't that strong. Yeah. So but if you look at the leading in terms of the clean sheet, China is doing well. Ronwe, and those are the same goalkeepers that were doing well last season. So those ones are expected Vela to have more clean sheets.
Yeah, no, I think it makes sense, and to think about it, because obviously we've got teams that are not even in the in the PSL. I think they will rely more on those saves. Yeah. So we might be finding out of new goalkeepers and stuff, but yeah, hopefully we'll have a goalkeeper. Yeah, we need them.
We want another Itumbele Nkune, guys.
Yeah, it will take another. You remember that David Villa's save that he once made? Yes. Yeah. We need to find another.
But this initiative then gives us an opportunity then for goalkeepers who are making saves. There's an eye. Too many. We need to have teams in South Africa that are local goalkeepers that are actually playing regularly. So we need quality players just like Ito. But you can't just be local and then without quality. So we need another next Kune. And we shouldn't wait for 10 years to have another best goalkeeper like Ito has. Luckily, we still have Ronwen, we still have China. But we need more.
Yeah, we need more. Even the unknowns. I remember you played you played against Chiefs. It was during the night. People didn't know about you then. I think you had already won the Player of the Season as far as the NFD. I think it was Vela Panda by then. People knew less of you. So this kind of competitions, they bring, those unknown stars. Like yourself now, you are just an evidence of that. So obviously we'd be hoping to find another Itumeleng Khune, another the late Senzo Meiwa. You mentioned them, the list is endless, because I do believe that we've got a lot of talent as far as this country is concerned.
Of course.
And you had the hunger, to just work hard and become self.
I mean, all we need as footballers, it's an opportunity.
Yeah.
And this trophy, it has produced so many players, and it has given so many players an opportunity to play. And we rightfully say, when we played Chiefs, nobody in the PSL raid, nobody knew who I was. But Komvela, everybody knew who I was. But it's just that's the game that actually helped me to transition into PSL a little bit quicker. So these are the games. Every game, just to encourage you to the youngsters or anybody that is going to participate, you will never know who's watching.
Exactly. Just to emphasize on that, because I'm the only fan with a PhD, and it never goes wrong. You know that you've broken a record of being the only player that was wanted by all 16 teams.
Yes, I know that.
Yeah, and you remain that only player ever since the inception of PSL.
How do you remember that? That's a long time ago.
I've got a PhD. What do you mean, Chief?
Yeah, I remember that.
So you broke that record of being that known without having been into the E-Light League. It hardly happens. Even your Lebohile Mufukeng, whom respectfully so are stars, they didn't hit that bar.
A good child is something. Really is not a star. It's special.
Yeah.
Really, it's not a star. There's too many stars in the PSL. Really is special. It needs to be protected. Yeah. Really is playing for South Africa. We want to see really progress. That's what I'm saying. There's really it's what Itumeleng Khune was. You didn't have to support KZG to support him, to like him. It's the same thing, really. And just watching him, man, makes
Yeah.
You know, it just makes me enjoy football. So
Exactly.
he's such a special player, man.
Yeah.
Such a special player.
No. We are very excited about
Yeah.
Nedbank, and also, you know, just to thank them for this initiative.
Yes, man.
Sure,
Thank you
Donna.
very much.
Hola.
Mr. PhD,
Obvious.
finally meeting you. In
Finally
person.
meeting you. I'm
I gotta go
honored.
on my TV.
Ah,